was one of those typical kiddos that wanted to be an astronaut or a firefighter, just depending on a day. However, that all changed when I was 7 years old. My brother was born in the NICU. At the time I didn't understand, and now being a NICU nurse, I realized that because he was born so early, all those typical things that we do when you go visit a baby at the hospital about picking them up, holding them, we were unable to do. That was very different for me as a child. Since I was 7, I knew I wanted to be a NICU nurse. I knew I wanted to be in the environment of being a nurse just since my brother was born. So I kind of paved in that way since high school. I started to be a certified nursing assistant since I was 16, and then I moved to working in the hospital setting, and then I had to decide between the schools I wanted to go to. And quite honestly, I thought, Carroll's home. Carroll is very nearby. I've only grown up in Waukesha, and I was actually a senior in high school doing my Spanish program there. So I was already as a senior in high school going to Carroll University. Finally, when the big decision came between a bunch of schools in Wisconsin, Carroll was actually the one that financially supported me the best and gave me the sense of being able to attain my college career without a lot of debt. I am a first-generation Latina, and so a lot of the times I had to think about how am I going to pay out of pocket. Carroll made that decision very easy for me. So being the first generation and firstborn in the United States, it holds a lot of responsibility as a first-gen student. That was another big piece of having that accessibility of being at home. Because simple things as like getting a prescription for my own family, parents, or my brother, it was needing a driver's license, and they didn't have that. So obviously at Carroll, we as nursing students have some mock situations that we would have. You know, you talk about like potential things, but you never actually believe that it was gonna happen, and I don't think none of us expected it. So therefore, when I started off on the COVID floor, it broke my heart how the population that was very highly affected were Latino patients. And I was one of like 2 Latino and Spanish-speaking nurses that worked on the floor. I just remember carrying this responsibility that I felt just because it was so hard to communicate with our patients because of our respirators. And on top of that, they're already short of breath and all these other factors that we had. And I just remember like feeling responsible about translating a menu to them because they didn't know what to order in English. That's what actually helped me decide that I wanted to do more of the community outreach. It's so important to me being able to help my community in that way, just because I think of my parents like 18 years ago when they had their own NICU baby in the hospital and they didn't understand what was going on, and those questions that I know they would have loved to have known and answered at that time. I think about that, and so I bring that with me everywhere. And then learning how to give back in my own way, and something that I'm very passionate about, was something that I never thought I was going to be able to do. Being Latina, I was actually in Waukesha. I remember growing up very embarrassed about being Mexican just because I was the one and only, and I hated speaking Spanish. I hated bringing my home-cooked meals to lunch. I rather have ate a peanut butter and jelly sandwich just because I did not like to stick out like a sore thumb. But now, being where I'm at and being able to say, no, yeah, I am a Mexican American, and I am from Carroll, I am from Waukesha, I am from all the little pieces that have brought me to where I am now, I carry that very proudly. Now that I started working at Milwaukee and saw how much need and help there was, I felt like, oh my gosh, I need to help back. So I started working closer to the Wisconsin Hispanic Scholarship Foundation. I soon learned that aside from the festival that happens on Summerfest grounds, they actually do a lot of community networking and outreach that assists them throughout the year. And I was amazed by that, and that's something I really wanted to be a part of. They do student forums for high school students to learn more about FAFSA, education, career opportunities. We bring panelists for it. We also do a lot of like the Reyes Magos, which is like a celebration for us in Christmas. We give gifts for the community. It's pretty endless of what they can do. I actually became Miss Mexican Fiesta in 2021 and 2022, which was right after the COVID year. So I felt like it was a big year of opportunity for me to teach back about COVID and what that was like being part of a Latina that worked on a COVID floor. So that was something that was very important to me, and thankful that I had that opportunity and that teach other people in the community. So the Carroll mission, I didn't realize how impactful it was going to be for me, and to this day it continues to impact me. I never thought I would go back to school, and here I am continuing my education. I didn't realize how much of my faith I had to keep with me, especially being in healthcare and being part of some of the saddest and scariest situations and continuing to be there for our family. So there's a lot of the mission that I continue to be a part of and bring into my everyday lifestyle, I guess, is what I can't believe I still do. So I'm very thankful for it.